now you can give your roll numbers. Those who have given earlier, they give again. Okay. Okay. So this impulse turbine with compounding that we are going to discuss. First, we should know about some statistics of steam turbine. Now see, this turbine blading, we have discussed the nozzle part, and I several times I remember I have told you that the steam is fed uh, into the turbine blades. Okay, those who are moving, and steam is basically fed from the nozzle. Okay, so what is the function of the nozzle? It basically increases the kinetic energy of the steam, right? So because the function of the nozzle is your to increase the velocity, so if my mass flow rate is constant, obviously my kinetic energy is getting increased while it is passing through the nozzle. Now, after coming out from the nozzle, it hits into the blade of the turbine, right? So that blading is not a simple thing. Just I'm telling simply that no, just from the nozzle it is coming out and it is hitting the turbine blades, which blades are mounted on a shaft, and that shaft is connected to the alternator. Okay, so as my shaft is rotating, I'm getting my electricity from the generator. But it is not that much of simple. Yes, the technically it is correct. Okay, but there may be different types of blading. There may be compounding, and so there are so many things. So we will learn those things gradually. So depending on the type of the blade used and method of energy transfer from the fluid to the rotor wheel. Rotor wheel means the blades. Okay, the blades on which the rotor means which rotates, right? So transfer from the energy transfer from the fluid to the rotor wheel. The steam turbines may be of mainly two types. That means depending on what? Depending on the types of blades and method of energy transfer. This is the underlining thing. Method of energy transfer. Now, this may be of two types, as you know, impulse and reaction, right? Impulse means impulse turbine and reaction turbine. What is the difference between impulse and reaction? By the way, what you know from the concept of your hydraulic energy?
Sir, impulse turbine works on the principle of impulse momentum theory,
Hmm.
and
Reaction turbine works on the reaction theory momentum. Okay. But what is the technical difference between an impulse turbine and a reaction turbine? This thing should you should know, right? Isn't it?
sir, in reaction, sir, the kinetic energy head is very high.
Okay, we will see that what is the difference between impulse steam turbine and reaction steam turbine in details in the next slide. But impulse term is basically it is coming from impulsive effect, right? Impulsive effect of, from where this impulsive effect is coming? This impulsive effect is coming from basically the rate of change of momentum. Okay, there is a turbine blade. Okay, so there will be some inlet velocity to the turbine blade, there will be some outlet velocity of the turbine blade, from the turbine blade the outlet velocity of the steam. So that that change in momentum, that change in momentum will give some impulsive effect on that turbine blade. Due to that, my rotor wheel is rotating. That's why that type of turbine is called your impulse turbine. Just I'm explaining you from the name. Okay, just literally what it means. And reaction means from the name it seems that there should be some reaction, right? Reaction, when this type of term reaction comes, obviously Newton's third law will be implemented over there. That means whatever the velocity with which it is hitting the blade, there will be some reaction, okay, in the opposite direction, right? So that reaction basically try to help to rotate the turbine blades or the rotor wheel. But question will arise that, sir, there will be no impulsive effect in the reaction turbine. But no, yes, there will be some impulsive effect also. That's why when we will discuss this reaction turbine specifically in the next module, we will see, or you can refer your book also, that the basically the name is impulse reaction turbine. Reaction turbine is basically technically it should be called impulse reaction turbine. But to avoid the confusion of name between the impulse and reaction turbines are only called as the reaction turbine, not impulse reaction. But there is practically there is just it is not like that there is zero impulsive effect. Okay, because yes, theoretically you can conceive that 100% reaction is there, but practically there is some impulsive effect also. Okay, because we will see that in impulse turbine we will use the nozzle, but in reaction turbine we will use some guide blades where the velocity will your increase. Okay, so due to increase in velocity there will be some impulsive effect. Okay, whenever I'm having some just before entering the blades, whenever I'm having some increase in velocity, there will be some impulsive effect or not? There will be some impulsive effect or not?
Yes, sir. Yes.
But that impulsive effect is not your dominant in the reaction turbines. Okay, the reaction effect is dominant, that's why it is called reaction turbine. So we will see in the next slide the difference also, and some of is entering now. Okay, so here that difference we will see in the next slide in details, your the difference between impulse steam turbine and reaction steam turbine. But before that, let us see some global steam turbine market by region. There is a projection from your 2020, that means 22 year of this year to your 2027. That means upcoming 7 years there is a probability, or you can say some projection, that how the steam turbine global market will be there. Okay, it is by your Maximize Market Research Private Limited. So you can see different regions of the world, and you can see the bars. Okay, if I see the Asia Pacific, okay, this is your our zone. Okay, Asia Pacific, if you see this of white, this color, so you see it is almost very high. Okay, you see this bar all the years, if you see all the years there is no such change compared to the other. It is you're almost it runs in the maximum. Okay, are you getting my point? Can you see this can you see this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so basically
Yes,
what
sir.
it signifies is that you can see basically what is the importance to show you this. Basically nowadays you know that renewable energy, these things are coming, but some people may think that renewable energy will completely replace the conventional coal fired steam power plants, or wherever I am using steam turbines. Okay, steam is basically coming from, it may be coal fired, it may be some type of your other fuel fired, but steam turbine, whenever it deals with hot steam, that market, it seems that it is not bad, it is very good. But you can see after 7 years it may so happen that there will be some just it's again it's a prediction. Okay, so there will be some decrement. That means India or this type of your Asian countries will be not upcoming 5 years, there will be no such drastic change in the renewable energies. Okay, some renewable energies will take the market, but not now, not in upcoming 5 years. Yes, some developments will be there, some solar parks and all those things will be there. But if you see the market of steam turbine, that clearly signifies, that clearly tells us that still there is a huge demand of steam turbines. And if you see for the Middle East, if you see for the Middle East, and basically this renewable energy, there are different types of renewable energies, right? That means it may be solar, it may be hydro, it may be your wind, right? But if you MEA stands for your Middle East countries. Okay, so if you see the last bar, okay, if you see the last bar, it is always less. Can you see? So your, what may be the reason behind this? In the Middle East countries, basically they are having abundant amount of solar, right? They are basically they are having abundant amount of your wind energy, and they are having your, as you know, in the Middle East countries there are your different types of manufacturing industries, oil industries, and manufacturing, different types of industries are there. But the solar is they use the solar power and the wind power from now. Okay, very well, they are implementing that, but we are still planning of that. That is the difference. So in the North American and the other countries, you can see more or less same. Okay, the use is gradually increasing if you see the steam turbine. So it obviously does not say that there will be no place for the renewable energy. It's not like that. But we just cannot say that after 5 years, whole this global steam turbine market will be down and your renewable energy market will be up. No, renewable energy obviously will go parallel to it. Okay, that is the main thing. So this type of, there are so many statistics, I have taken this one for your reference. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So now we'll go something in the technical part. Okay. Impulse turbine. Now see, this is a basic, very basic your figure of how impulse turbine basically acts. Basically, you can see the nozzle. So this is the steam in. This is the way where the steam is getting inside in the steam turbine casing. Okay, this is the steam. Whole thing is called steam turbine casing, but here the nozzle is there. Okay. In impulse turbine, all the pressure drops of steam occur in the nozzle, and there is no pressure drop as steam flows through the passage between two blades of the turbine. What does it mean? There is a nozzle, okay, and just after that there is a blade, you can see, and then there may be series of blades. Yes, there may be series of blades, but this blade is mounted on this shaft that you can see. Whenever these blades are rotating, okay, due to the high velocity of the steam that is coming from the nozzle, the shaft will obviously rotate, and then the steam will be getting out from the blade with a lower velocity. Okay, just imparting the energy into this blade or the shaft. So the pressure drop, there is no pressure drop as the steam flows through the passage between the two blades. That means the main pressure drop just will be in the nozzle, because the velocity is increasing in the nozzle. So velocity is increasing in the nozzle means that is due to the expense of the pressure drop. Several times I have told. So the main pressure drop will be happening in the nozzle, and there will be no pressure drop in the blade. Is that clear? For the impulse turbine, there will be no pressure drop in the blade. Whenever it is hitting the blade, it is just converting the kinetic energy into this mechanical energy whenever this shaft is rotating, and this mechanical energy is obviously converted to the electrical energy with the help of some alternator or your generator. So in the impulse turbine, all the pressure drop happens in the nozzle, because nozzle is the responsible for for increasing the velocity of the steam. Steam enters to the nozzle at pressure P0 and velocity V0. Okay, enters means, say this is the inlet, see my cursor, say this is the inlet of the nozzle and this is the outlet to the nozzle. So steam enters to the nozzle at pressure P0 and V0, undergoes expansion at a pressure P1 and velocity increase to V1. That means V1 is obviously greater than V0 and P1 is obviously what? P1 and P0, which
Sir,
one is
less
larger?
less than sir. P1
P1
is
is
less
less.
than P0.
P1 is less. Very good. Because pressure is getting dropped in the nozzle. I'm talking about the nozzle. So pressure is getting reduced from P0 to P1 and velocity is increased from V0 to V1. Very simple. This high velocity steam, that means this high velocity V1, that is the inlet velocity. Now this is the inlet velocity to the blade. Obviously outlet velocity from the nozzle means that is the inlet velocity to the blade. This high velocity steam jet impinges on the blades. It just hits the blades and steam and gets deflected by an angle. That is very obvious because there will be some blade angle, and it is coming out with a lower velocity, impressing torque on the turbine blades. Okay, so as it is impressing some torque on the blade, so it will rotate and it will do some work. Okay, it will do some work on the shaft. That work is basically getting converted later in the electrical form. Okay,
Excuse me, sir.
yes.
Sir, as you said that there is no pressure drop in the impulse turbine, sir, then
No,
why is
no
the
pressure
velocity?
drop in the, no pressure drop in the blade. I told, no pressure drop
Okay,
in the
okay,
blade.
sir. Okay, sir.
Impulse
Understood, sir.
turbine casing means the whole thing. The main pressure drop, okay, main pressure drop in the turbine. That's why several times I have told earlier that whenever you draw the HS plot or your TS plot, say for HS plot from 1 to 2, that is the turbine work, right? You are dropping the
Yes, sir.
pressure. You are dropping the pressure means that is happening where? That is happening in this nozzle, not in this blade. But nozzle, as I told, it is inside this turbine casing, so it is not considered as a separate part. Okay, the nozzle is inside the this casing. Okay, so this pressure drop is only happening in the nozzle, not in the blades. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sir, even there is pressure drop when the steam is coming out of the.
No,
It is
basically
coming
there may
out
be
of a
series of
regular.
blades. If there is some series of blades, that I will discuss whenever I will discuss the compounding. Okay, but if I am having some say for one series of blade, one stage, if this type of thing I am having, there is no pressure drop at the outlet, because only the kinetic energy is getting reduced, velocity is reduced, and that velocity, that energy is going where? That energy is going in this shaft. That,
Yes, sir.
due to that, this shaft is rotating. Okay, there is no connection with the pressure energy over here. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So pressure of the steam remains essentially constant, as I told, as the steam flows throughout the blades of the turbine. Okay, so impulse turbine, always remember pressure of the steam will be constant whenever my steam flows throughout the blades. So pressure will be getting reduced only in the nozzle. Okay, so these 4 points are the very basic points of defining any impulse steam turbine. So you have to understand basically where the nozzle is fixed. After that means the series, you have to understand where I am having the nozzle, where I am having the blades. Okay, after nozzle I am having the blades. Very simple. And the main pressure drop is happening in the nozzle. I'll show you in the next slide the changes in pressure and velocity simultaneously. Okay. Next, you can see I am just you're enlarging that type of thing. That means, say, basically in practically this type of arrangements are there. Steam flow, this is the nozzle. Okay, so this steam flow is like this in this direction, so the velocity is increased with this. You see this direction of the arrow, and this hits this type of blades, okay, in the turbine, so that it will rotate. Okay, so here also the same type of things are there. That means there may not be single nozzle, there may be some series of nozzle. You can see this is the steam channel. Okay, these are the nozzles, these are the nozzles. Okay, it may not look like a nozzle exactly like this, but these passages are like a nozzle. These passages between these two parts. Okay, these blades are the moving blades. Okay, so this passage, that means there are 1 2 3 4 5 nozzles you can see over here. That means more number of nozzles I will use, obviously more I will be having the velocity. So in the more that means the high torque will be impressed on this moving blade, so that I will get more work. That is a simple thing. So there, this is the arrangement that you can see. In this way there may be several types of, that means your several number of nozzles. Okay, nozzle vanes you can see, and these are fixed, obviously these are not moving, so steam is getting deflected. Okay, like this, velocity is increased, and that is hitting in this moving blades, moving buckets, or moving blades, whatever you say. So now you can see the changes are also shown over here. This is one nozzle. Okay, this is one nozzle, this is another nozzle. Okay, so if you take example of one nozzle, so v0, as I told, was the velocity at the input, that means inlet to the nozzle. V1 is what? Velocity at the outlet of the nozzle,
Complete of the
right?
first.
Ha. So outlet of the nozzle means that is the inlet velocity to this blade. This
Yes,
MB
sir.
means, MB means moving blades. N means nozzle. Okay. MB stands for moving blades. These are not moving. These are fixed. Some fixed are there. Fixed spaces are there. The nozzles are mounted like this. So this is the same thing is happening over here. So basically it hits at an angle. Okay, alpha. This alpha is known as basically nozzle angle. Okay, this, it hits this moving blade at a particular angle. This v1 velocity is hitting this moving blade at a particular angle, and it is getting out with a velocity, lower velocity v2, because this kinetic energy has been transferred to this moving blade, which is obviously connected to the shaft. So this angle alpha is known as your nozzle angle, and this v2 is the velocity at the outlet from the moving blade. And the same thing has been shown. And if you see this change, this graph you just see, this graph is for v and this graph is for p, that means pressure, this is for velocity. If you see the pressure at, just whenever it is passing through this part, just see this first part, pressure has been dropped or not? This line, if you see, the pressure has been dropped, right? This part, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is
Yes,
the,
sir.
this, the pressure is dropping, and parallelly the velocity is increasing. At the same graph it is showing, you can see the changes in pressure and velocity in the single graph. So pressure is dropping and velocity is increasing. That is happening in the nozzle series. Then what is happening? Then obviously the pressure is getting constant, as I was talking about in the impulse turbine. The pressure is constant and the velocity is dropping. Why velocity is dropping? Why this
Sir,
velocity is
because
dropping?
kinetic energy is transferred to
Yes,
the
kinetic energy
blades.
is transferred and obviously the blades are getting some impulsive effect. Okay, so that kinetic energy is transferred, okay, to this moving blade. So that's why this velocity has been dropped from v1 to v2. So this thing you need not to memorize, right? You have to just understand where the pressure and velocity will change in what fashion. Okay, so just knowing that you can draw this. So here one series of moving blades has been shown. This figure is clear to all of you, this D figure, or is there any doubt?
No, sir, it's clear. It's clear,
Yes.
sir.
I have not entered to the velocity triangle till now. I will just enter to that. But to understand the velocity triangle, this thing is very important to know. Okay, because the velocity triangle is just, we will just take this blade and what is happening this inlet to the blade and what is happening to the outlet to the blade, that is known as basically inlet velocity triangle and outlet velocity triangle. But before that you should know how the steam flow is coming to the blade. Okay, so from the principle of conservation of momentum, now we can say that I was talking about again and again impulsive effect that I was talking about. So you can see that rate of change as the velocity is changing. So momentum of the steam jets at the inlet to the blades, this is the blade, moving blade, momentum of the steam jets at the inlet to the blades minus momentum of the jets at the exit. This is the exit, this is the velocity. So if I know the velocity, if I know the mass flow rate, I can just calculate the momentum flow rate. So momentum of the steam jets at the inlet minus of momentum of the jet at the exit is equals to angular momentum produced in the wheel to rotate the shaft. Okay, so this rate of change of momentum is giving me this angular momentum. Basically this change in momentum is reflecting where as the angular momentum. That means because the shaft is rotating basically, so that's why here it is written angular momentum produced in the wheel to rotate the shaft. So this change in momentum will basically act as the impulsive effect. So you can see from the figure B and D, that means this B and this D, it is prominent that the wheel rotates due to the impulsive effect of the jets, which generates from the difference in momenta of the jets that I was talking about. Inlet to the blade and outlet to the blade, there is a difference in the momentum. So that is basically creating the impulsive effect to the impulse turbine blades. The blades of such wheels are called impulsive blades or impulse blade. Is that clear? This this impulse effect, why it is called impulse turbine?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Okay, so this thing you have to know very well, this thing. Okay, next we will be proceeding towards the velocity triangle. Very important, each and every problem you have to draw the velocity triangles. Okay, again I have shown this for your reference and I'll show the velocity triangle, but before that some physical nomenclatures you should know. That means this some three-dimension figure has been shown over here. That means these blades are basically, it is a, if you just consider in 3 dimension, it is like a rotor. As I told, it's a rotor wheel, it's like a wheel. On the wheel, on the just periphery of the wheel, these type of blades are mounted. Okay, can you visualize the thing? There is a rotor wheel. On the periphery of the rotor wheel, this type of plates are mounted, and you can see before that there is a nozzle. Just consider this as the nozzle. Velocity at the inlet, that means to the blades. Okay, v1, and this is my v2. Okay, and this steam is, that means this rotor is rotating. That means these blades will rotate on which direction? If the steam is coming like this whole wheel will rotate on which direction? Clockwise or anti-clockwise? Hmm?
Sir,
Sir, can you
clockwise.
show the direction again, sir?
Direction is shown over here. You can see the direction of the flow of the steam. If this is the direction, in this way it is hitting this blade. This is the blade, okay, moving blade, and it is going out like this, v2. Okay, so this is just some part is shown. So if this hits in this direction, obviously the whole wheel will rotate in the clockwise direction or not?
Yes, sir. Clockwise, clockwise.
You can see here also
Clockwise.
n. So that is the rpm that is generated in the rotor wheel, and that rpm and the same rpm will be transferred to the shaft. Okay, in this way we are just getting. So basically in this is a hub. There are some dimensions. If you see D suffix T means, the capital D means diameter of the hub, the rotor hub, tip diameter, and D root means this is a root diameter. Okay, so and this is basically the mean diameter. That means D tip plus D root divided by 2 if I do, so that will give me the dm, that is the mean diameter. Okay, so this is the root and this is the tip, you can see, and hb is the blade height. Okay, hb is the blade height. So this type of these things you should know. And this, if you see from the top, this thing if you see from the top, this is the rotor disc. Okay, now I think it should be clear that in this direction it is moving, and steam is coming, say from this is one plate. Okay, so this is the center. Okay, this is the tip, this is the root, and the height you obviously cannot see from here because this is the top view, but you can see the direction clearly over here. And uh, this your dt, dm, d root, all these things. So this is basically the top view of the same thing. Okay, so this tip and root, this diamond, these nomenclatures we will not use. We will use d1, d2 like this. Okay, so the mean peripheral velocity of the, or the mean blade velocity can be defined as pi dm n by 60. Dm is the mean diameter, you can see from here, dm is the mean diameter. Pi dn by 60, very well known equation. So what is the blade linear velocity of the blade, vb, if I want to calculate, because n is the rpm. Okay, n is the rpm, so pi dn by 60 I have to do. So which d I have to take? Obviously the mean diameter. Okay, not the tip diameter, neither the tip diameter nor the root diameter. I have to take the mean diameter. Okay, so this equation will be several times used because it is a very well known equation. Vv is the pi dm n by 60. Okay, dm is the mean diameter, where dm is the mean diameter of the wheel and n is the rpm. The area of the flow of, or the blade annulus, may be defined like this, because if I want to calculate the area of the flow, that pi by 4 d square, I know pi d square by 4, that equation, but pi d square by 4 means here d2 square minus d1 square. D2 is which diameter? Can you tell me? D2 is which diameter? D tip or D root? Which one is larger?
Sir, D tip, sir.
D tip is the larger one. So D2 means the D tip, D1 means the D root. Okay, so that's why I told, just this is for your understanding only. So D2 and this is my D1. So D2 is the diameter of the tip, D1 is the diameter of the root. So if I just divide algebraically this D2 plus D1 by 2 and D2 minus D1 by 2, so you see, as I told, D2 plus D1 by 2 will give me that dm. Okay, this is my dm, and d2 minus d1. So d2 minus d1 means, you can see d2 minus d1, that means this space. Okay, d2 minus d1 by 2, I will get this hb or not? I'll get this hb or not, because this is shown only for the radius. Okay, but if I take the diameter for the whole thing, okay, so this d tip minus of d root, okay, that means d2 minus d1 by 2 will give me this hb or not? Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's
Yes.
why it is getting simplified. AB means your pi dm, your HB. Okay. So again, I'm showing AB is your pi dm HB, and this equation will be several times used, pi dm n by 60. So these are some physical nomenclature of the physical your dimensions you should know about the rotor disc. Okay. Now see the velocity diagrams. That is the important thing of the impulse turbine. Velocity diagrams. We will show you today the velocity diagrams. The in detail mathematics may be shown in the next class, but you have to understand the velocity diagram very clearly. See, this is the velocity diagram, and from this it is coming to this. Okay, how it is coming? This is what? This is one blade. Okay, this is one blade. You can see this is one blade, the rotor blade or the moving blade. This is the nozzle. Okay, this is the nozzle. Nozzle outlet, what is the velocity? Absolute velocity is my v1, right? Absolute velocity is my v1, but nozzle and this moving blade, it is hitting at an angle alpha. So what is the relative velocity? Relative velocity will be, that means the steam that is coming out from the nozzle, it is hitting this moving blade at a relative velocity of vr1, that is the relative velocity at the inlet. 1 stands for inlet, 2 stands for outlet. Okay, So v1 is the absolute velocity at the inlet, vr1 is the relative velocity at the inlet, alpha is the nozzle angle. Okay, alpha is the nozzle angle. So v1 vr1, so v1 is the absolute velocity, vr1 is the relative velocity. Okay, same thing we will be having in the outlet. Okay, v2 vr2. Okay, v2 is the absolute velocity at the outlet, vr2 is the your relative velocity at the outlet, and here also the beta 2 is the this is your nozzle angle, beta is known as your blade angle. Okay, beta 1 is the inlet blade angle, beta 2 is the outlet blade angle. So all these things will be discussed, that means these nomenclatures will be shown to you. But why these two types? Okay, let me explain this one first, how we are getting this, how we are getting this. Just we are superimposing these two velocity diagrams. If you see particularly, because you see this is the this is what, this is my vb, that is my blade velocity. Here also we are having the blade velocity. Blade velocity will be same at the inlet and the outlet, because blade, this is the single blade, it is moving at a single velocity, that we know. So blade velocity will be same at inlet and outlet. So we can take that as a you can say common in this diagram, and we are just placing the inlet velocity diagram and the outlet velocity diagram on the same picture. Now here see, this outlet velocity of diagram may be of this type or may be of this type. Okay, this, that depends on the value of v2, that depends on the value of v2, and obviously the angle beta 2. Now see, if now this delta angle, there is no such name of this delta angle. Delta angle I am coming afterwards. Just for example, if you take, if the outlet velocity triangle is like this, if the outlet velocity triangle is like this will be my combined your velocity triangle. This is my inlet velocity triangle. You can see this is my v1, this is my vr1. There are so many angles, one by one I am explaining. This is the inlet velocity triangle ABC. You see ABC. ABC is the inlet velocity triangle, and this BCD is the outlet velocity triangle. So which one should be the alpha angle? Alpha is the angle between V1 and VB. Okay, here you can see alpha is the angle between V1 and VB. Here also you see, this is my V1, this is my VB. This angle is shown over here, alpha, very small. Okay, this angle is your alpha over here. Beta 1 is the angle what? Inlet blade angle. Beta 1 is the inlet blade angle. Alpha is the nozzle angle. Beta 1 is the inlet blade angle, means it is angle between VR1 and VB. Okay, let us see now what. This is the VR1, relative velocity at the inlet. This is the VB, straight line. So this angle is my beta 1. Okay, this angle is my beta 1. Similarly, what is beta 2? If this angle is beta 2, obviously this angle will be beta 2. You see always here also at the inlet velocity and the outlet velocity, the beta is which angle? Beta is the angle between relative velocity and the blade velocity. Are you getting my point? Beta is the, always remember, don't mix up. Beta is the angle between, you see, relative velocity and the blade velocity. So that same thing is happening over here also. If this angle is beta 2, this angle will be obviously beta 2, right? So this is the angle between what? VR2 and VB or not? This is the angle between relative
Yes, sir.
velocity and the VB or not? Same thing. Inlet
Yes,
and outlet, same thing is happening. So here, which angle should be beta 2? Relative velocity means this is my VR2, this line is my VR2, BD is my VR2, and VB is my this BC. So this angle you see here, it is written beta 2. Can you see beta 2 over here? Can you see?
yes, yes.
Okay, so that is basically the outlet blade angle. Okay, then what is the delta angle? Delta is basically this angle. Okay, this angle. Okay, you can see from VB and V2, VB and V2. Okay, why we are, there is no such name of this delta angle, but this, depending on this delta angle, this outlet velocity triangle may be of two types. That means here you see delta is greater than 90 degree. Okay, delta is the angle between, again I am repeating, VB and V2. Delta is the angle between VB and V2. So delta, here you can see delta is greater than 90 degree. That's why like this. Here, whatever it is shown over here, delta is greater than or less than 90 degree. Here, for this figure, delta means angle between VB and
Less
V2.
than 90.
Less than 90. That means
Yes.
for this type of figure, this type of, if this is the figure, okay, at the inlet and outlet velocity triangle, my superimposed figure will be this one. My superimposed figure will be this one, for which case here I am having, you can see delta angle means VB and V2, which is less than 90 degrees. So depending on this value of delta, the superimposed view will be like this or like this. The inlet, there is no change in inlet velocity triangle, but outlet velocity triangle, it depends on so many factors. It depends on the velocity at the outlet velocity, it depends on the nozzle angle, it depends on the friction acting on the blades. So depending on that, this delta may be of your greater than 90 degree or less than 90 degree, but the nomenclatures will be same. Nomenclature means V2 VR1, V2 V1, VR VR2 VR1, those things will be same. Here also BD is my VR2. Okay, now another angle you can see gamma over here. Gamma is basically angle between VB and VR2. You can see VB, that means this straight line VB and your VR2. Here also same thing, gamma, you can see VB and VR2. This is the VR2, BD is the VR2, but that gamma angle will be required for the in between calculation of the derivation. But the delta is very important. Depending on the delta, we will be having these two types. Okay, but most of the cases we may have delta greater than 90 degree. Okay, now you can see there are several terms, this VW and VA, due to difference in between this this is the tangential component of the velocity, and vertical one is the axial component. I think these things, similar type of things you have studied in the fluid mechanics hydraulic turbines also, isn't it? The velocity V suffix W means what? Velocity of what? Velocity of V suffix
Sir,
W means
will.
velocity of wheel. If you remember, V suffix W means VW1 means or velocity of wheel at inlet, VW2 means velocity of wheel at the outlet, and delta VW means total difference in velocity of wheel, and VA means this actually velocity of wheel, WHIRL, velocity of wheel is coming from the difference in the tangential components. Okay, it is coming from the difference in the tangential component of the velocity. Okay, and velocity of axis, that means this axial velocity, V suffix A means axial velocity. Okay, it is coming from the axial component of the velocity. That means this is my VA1. Okay, this is the basically this is the sine component and this is the cos component. Okay, cos component is the tangential component and sine component is the axial component. So V suffix A1 is the axial velocity at the inlet, and here also you can see V suffix A2 means axial velocity of the outlet, and this small part is the difference. Okay, this small part is the difference, that is delta VA. Okay, delta VA, that is the difference in the axial velocity. So this delta, but from which difference of velocity we are getting the power? From which difference of the velocity we are getting the power from the turbine? Delta VW or delta VA?
Sir, delta VW.
Anyone else? From which difference in velocity? That means we are just saying that velocity at the inlet is V1 and velocity at the outlet as V2, but these velocities will be two components, velocity of wheel and velocity of your, that means your axial velocity, wheel velocity and axial velocity. But due to which difference of velocity we are getting the power? Velocity of wheel, that means the tangential component or the axial component. Velocity of wheel means the tangential component. Tangential component or the axial component. This thing should be clear to you. It is due to the tangential component.
Tangential, sir.
Because that tangential thrust is happening on the blade, not the axial thrust. If you just compare, if you just see this blade is moving due to which component? This is the tangential direction and this is the axial direction. Axial direction blades are not moving. Blades are moving on which direction? In the tangential direction or not? These
Yes.
blades are moving in the tangential direction. So whatever the change in velocity, whatever the change in momentum, whatever the change in torque we are getting, that is due to the change in not in axial velocity, change in your tangential velocity. So that means change in tangential velocity means change in your wheel velocity. So it is the delta VW. This type of MCQ also may comes. Which component is responsible for your generating power in the turbine blades? That means the tangential component, axial component, both, or something else. So it is, answer should be your tangential component, not the axial component, or not the both. Yes.
Due to the action of this axial velocity, there will be some undesirable vibrations induced in the
Yes,
system.
yes, yes. There will be some loss due to that. There will be some loss, but there will be no such vibrations in that sense. But there will be some loss, I should say. Okay, there will be some loss, and some cases this delta VA does not exist. That means this, if the blades are symmetrical,
Cancel each other.
if the blades are symmetrical, I will come those points. If the blades are symmetrical, there this delta VA term will be zero, because then delta VA1 and VA2 will be your same. That means this
Yes,
triangle,
sir.
this outlet velocity triangle will be of same height. Okay, the value of V2 may be different, but this height of this outlet velocity triangle will be same as this inlet velocity triangle. So then what will happen, there will be no value of this delta VA. That is basically desirable, but in all the cases we may not have that. So if the blades are symmetrical, then we will be also having this, will be not having this value, then there is no question of that type of losses. Okay, so we'll be just coming when we'll be coming those mathematical parts. So steam coming out from the nozzle at the absolute velocity, here it is written whatever I have told, again I am showing you. Steam coming out from the nozzle at velocity, absolute velocity V1, this is the V1, strikes the blades with a relative velocity Vr1. Okay, this is the relative velocity, it strikes the blade, whereas steam leaves the blades with a relative velocity Vr2. This is the Vr2, that is the outlet relative velocity, with an absolute velocity of your V2. Okay, all these things I have told. All the angles are measured in the clockwise direction that you have seen. All the angles, whatever alpha, beta 1, beta 2, whatever the, these are calculated in the clockwise direction. And alpha is the nozzle angle, beta 1 is the, as I told, inlet blade angle, beta 2 is the exit blade angle, and gamma is what, gamma is 180 degree minus beta 2. As I told, there is no such name of this delta and gamma, but gamma is mathematically is 180 degree minus of beta 2. So this velocity diagram is clear to all of you or not? I'm coming to mathematical part and all those things later, but if this velocity diagram is clear, then whatever the things we will do, that is nothing but geometry.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
asking to all. I'm asking to all. I need response from all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Yes, sir.
Basically,
Clear.
this velocity diagram and this velocity diagram has been superimposed. That is the simple thing. Okay. And why it is different two types? Basically, depending on the value of delta. If the delta here it is greater than 90 degree, it will be like this. If the delta is less than 90 degree, it will be like this. But whenever you will be solving problem, in the problem obviously delta will be not mentioned initially. So you draw, we start with this type of figure. Okay, not an issue. This, okay, this B figure, delta greater than 90 degree, you take it, not an issue. Okay, and this, all these terms are clear. Velocity of wheel, velocity of your axial velocity, and all these angles are clear to you or not, that you tell me. Beta 1, beta 2, alpha, all these angles are clear to you or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, clear, sir.
Okay, so I think today we are only running out of time, but we will be obviously showing the mathematical part in the next class. Okay, next class means we are just, I am having class on the Wednesday. Okay, so don't miss that class. We will be completing this mathematical part of this impulse turbine. Okay, and if time permits, I will also show you one problem. Is that clear?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, sir.
so in the Wednesday, please attend and tell others also, because based on this, there may be problems. Say several numericals will come, okay, in your semester from this impulse turbine, and compounding. Okay, compounding part is a bit type of theory, but impulse turbine, if you see your book, there are, after nozzle problems, there are several problems based on impulse turbine, and these problems are very easy if you understand this velocity diagram and remember few equations. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So thank you for attending the class. I will be again discussing
Thank you,
these
sir.
things. This, all these equations you can see. I have just you inboxed the equations that will be required for your problem solving specifically. Okay, so that you need not to read much from your book. Obviously, you have to read once from your book, but problems also you have to solve. But which equations will be mainly used, that I will be focusing on the next class. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay,
Then
sir.
then we are
Yes, sir.
ending today. Thank you.
Sir, এটা
Thank you, sir.
Google
Thank
Classroom
you,
এ
sir.
দিয়ে দেবেন, sir.
Okay, I will share. I will share this lecture in the Google Classroom. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.